Hi crafty friends, hey, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and today I'm so excited to show you all the amazing things that you can do with these hula skirts that you can get for $1 at your local Dollar Tree. And thank you to my friend Anne who sent me like about 9 of them. I have been playing and having an absolute blast with these. And last year here at DiyDreaming, we did some projects with them too. And I never could find the adult size. I could only find the children's ones, which are about half the size of the adult. So thank you, Anne, for doing that. Okay, so I'm planning to ramble and show you a ton of different ideas on this video. And I'm not gonna wear the hula skirt. I just wanted to show you that it could actually be a hula skirt if you were looking for one. But this goodness right here can be turned into so many amazing crafts. And if you look on Pinterest and you do a search of bohemian, you're gonna find a lot of things that look kind of like what we're gonna be making today. So let's just jump right in and get started. I have a huge disaster on my craft desk in front of me. Say hello as you're hopping on. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to sprinkle all that. What is going on here? Sorry. Feel free to sprinkle if you have friends that like these kind of projects. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this. This is one thing. Which way do I need to go? Isn't that awesome? And then I'm going to show you how to make something that has a smaller hoop and it's going to have a background, and we're going to put some seashells on it. And then I'm going to show you how to make these. This was one of the projects that we did last year here at DiyDreaming. These are just over-the-door little hangers. They use them a lot at weddings that are done like at the beach. They hang them on the chairs. Whoops. But they turned out so super cute. I had to show you all of them today, and I'll show you how to make these. So, okay. So this project right here involves a hula hoop. Or I'm going to keep saying hula hoop. It's an embroidery hoop. Excuse me. And it is, let's see what the size is. Where's my ruler? My ruler is probably buried here somewhere on my desk. I think it's a 12-inch. It's either 10 or 12-inch, the outside piece of an embroidery hoop. All right? And this is a full skirt right here. So I have a bigger one that I'm going to show you how you get this stuff off and onto it. And then these are just some wood beads that I just strung on some of my favorite natural polished hemp from Walmart. I wish I owned stock in this stuff because I use this stuff for almost every craft I do here. It's in the jewelry section at Walmart in the crafts department. I just strung some beads on there and then I tied them to my embroidery hoop, and voila, super duper easy. So, okay, so we're going to be working with this one just to show you what the process is, but you could choose an embroidery hoop, or it doesn't even have to be a hoop. It could be a wreath form. It could be a clothes hanger that you bend in the shape of a circle or an oval. Could be whatever you want. You can even use these guys, these little hula skirts on the bottom of a sign. This was something that I bought at Dollar Tree, which actually is sort of cute. But on the back side of it, I used my stencil called Every Seashell Tells a Story. And then I glued part of the skirt to the back of it. And so there's tons of different things that you can do with these skirts. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to notice that it's all strung on one piece of twine. And you're going to want to just kind of scoot it over, and you can take the time to untie this if you want to save it, but I'm just going to cut it. And then I'm going to pull these off. And what they are is they're a slip knot onto it. And there are two pieces is what makes up each one of these. So what I did is I just pulled a whole bunch of these off, a little bit at a time, okay? And I set them aside. Let's throw that on the floor. And then I just took my embroidery hoop and I closed it all the way shut. So can you guys see what I'm doing? This just makes it easier to handle. It's not so wobbly. And then, so this is where it was attached to the twine of the skirt. And then I'm just going to bend it in half. And I'm going to do a bigger slip knot with this set right here, where I just throw a loop over it and then I pull the tail through the center. And it's going to look like this, and you're just going to pull it tight. And then when you get all of them on, you can fiddle around with them to make them look nice and neat. So, I mean, and it goes by so quick. So fold it in half, put the loop over your hoop, pull the tail through. Fold it in half. This is a good project to do sitting down. Do your loop over the top of the hoop and pull the tail through. And you can see how quick they come on. For this other project that I'm going to show you, I used shorter pieces that came off of a skirt, and I used 5 pieces at a time. So if you want it to go a little bit faster, you theoretically could take 2 of these. Let's see how that looks. Fold it in half, you get your loop, put it over the embroidery hoop, and pull the tail through. And you're just going to mess with it. It might be a little bit more difficult to have it look neat, but that is what you're going to get. So I did this exact thing with one entire skirt on this embroidery hoop. This is what the, let's ignore these beads for just a minute. This is what the front looks like. Those are all the slip knots, and I just pulled them as tight as I could. If you like this side better, you could have this be your front, but this is the back. But I think the slip knot is actually pretty. And then I had all these polished, all these natural beads that I ordered from Amazon a long time ago. Just hanging out. And I just threaded them, big, little, big, little, big, little. If you have some, you could use colored beads. You could, all the same size. You could vary the sizes, absolutely whatever you want. And I strung it on some of this polished hemp. I'll show you. We'll just do a few so that I can give you the general idea. Because I have so many things to show you. So this is why I like this polished hemp, because it's easy to thread your beads on it. Okay, so say I had as many beads as I wanted, then I counted down here 10 loops, and I tied this on. And then I counted down 5 more and I tied this one on. So however you want to space them, that is it. And then it's totally up to you, but you could trim this or not. I like how it's kind of messy looking. So that's totally up to you. And I tried to go through it and pull these little loops out, or just, pull them straight as possible. What do you guys think about this? Okay, somebody, when I posted this idea, said it looked like a little gnome or a little troll if I wanted to wear it like this. This took probably 20 minutes. And that was me just figuring out how to get the get all my pieces off of the skirt and onto this. So it went by super fast. You love the one with beads on it. Thank you. Okay, let's see. That is so fun. Oh, thank you guys. I love making things out of something that is kind of unusual. That's totally my thing. Totally. So, and my friend Anne sent me a bunch of these skirts, so I had to do something with them. Okay, so I did something very similar with the outside of, this is an 8-inch embroidery hoop, only I used 5 pieces, and let me show you how I did that with the stuff that I have on the floor. Okay. I cut all of these in half. And here is, should be 5 pieces. Do I have more than that? Oh, I do have more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have 5 pieces here. And then I just did the exact same thing. I folded it in half, put it on over my little embroidery hoop, and pulled the tail through. And that was it. And then I made them look neat. And I did trim a few of these up. Okay, that was still way too long. So once you get them all on, then you can fiddle around with them to get them on straight. Okay, then the next thing is, I took some of this fabric that I got at my local Walmart. It's Waverly brand, like cotton duck. It's not as thick as the stuff off the bolt, so I don't like it quite as well. But I don't have any more of the stuff off the bolt, so I'm stuck with this. So what I did is I used this stencil. Every seashell tells a story, and I stenciled it in black ink. All right, and I will heat set it before I glue it on, but I'm going to show you the next step. Okay, and here is the back of this embroidery hoop. Okay, these come to, they're 2 pieces if you've never used one of these. So I'm going to put the back underneath this and kind of get it placed where I think it will work. And gonna take my little hoop. Can you guys see? Let me bring this down just a little bit further. The comments, they are hula skirts. They look like this. They're from the Dollar Tree. Okay, so then I have the hoop underneath here, the back side, and I have this part that's got all these doodads on it. I'm gonna take this one off because it's, well, yeah, I'll leave it. Okay, and I'm going to put the front on the front. So I'm just going to lay it over the top, and we're going to push it down. Okay, and this is basically what you're going to get. Just fold all this in here just so you don't see it for the time being. Let me just pin it in here. And this is what you get. Okay, so then the next step is to lay your seashells on the top. And actually, I don't have my iron turned on. Dang. I kind of do need to iron this before I put it on for permanent. So let me grab my iron and we'll do that really quick. And then I'll show you the next step. And stay with me because we're also going to do the little door cover things too. And those are really fun and super easy. And I'm going to show you a trick for getting, that involves braiding. And I'm going to show you a braiding trick that works great. So, and I'm going to cut a little bit of this excess off here. I don't want to cut it too close until I get it on. Okay, so this is what we're going to heat set. And also it needs a little iron because it looks terrible. So this stencil is part of this set that has all these seashells. And I cut mine into smaller pieces because I wanted to be able to layer them. So this says every, and then this part says seashell tells a story. And I used my Magnolia ink in black. You could use absolutely whatever color gets you excited that you like. So to heat set something, you would let it dry thoroughly, and this is completely dry. And then I like to use a piece of parchment paper over the top, no steam, and it's on cotton. And for this project, really, it's not even that it needs to be heat set because I'm not going to ever wash this, but it was super wrinkled and it looked messy, really messy. So let me see, does it look better? Just a little bit more up here. Okay. Unplug my iron. And here's the insert that's going to go inside of this embroidery hoop. Okay, so the back of it, and I'll show you how we're going to trim it off, and then we're going to do some doodads on it, some seashells. It's going to be super cute. So the size of this stencil kind of makes it so that part of the S has to be cut off. It just does. And that's okay. I want this to be straight. All right, if you've never worked with embroidery hoops, once you get it on, then you're going to want to tighten it up just a little bit by twisting the little locking thing at the top. And you can make that as tight or not as you want. And then you're just going to pull the edges just to make it really tight on your hoop so it looks really good. And I'm going to just go ahead and cut this off. And we'll glue it on because, let me think, because we're gonna do this start to finish. So let's grab one of my Wilton cake boards that I love to work on when I'm crafting, and my glue gun. Okay, the first thing you're gonna do is you're basically gonna run a bead of glue around this embroidery hoop. And you're basically just gonna pull your edges over. These scissors are terrible. Here's my good ones. And don't trim it too small the first go around because you may have a hard time getting it to lay down. You can always come back and trim it later. But I want to get this part done so that we can move on to the seashells, and we're going to be gluing those on. So This part does need to be finished. Okay, so basically what I'm doing, I'm going to show you up close, is I'm running a bead of glue on this part of the hoop, and then I'm pressing this over into, you can see where I've done it there, into the glue. And I can come back, I could line this if I wanted, but I can come back and clean it up. Because you can see in some spots my fabric is really long, but this is going to do the trick so we can move on to the next step. Okay, we're almost there, almost. Okay, this does the trick. See, it's basically glued down on the back, and now this is what you're gonna see. Okay, next, I thought it would be really fun to just glue some seashells around here. And I found this huge bag of these awesome seashells at my local Goodwill a couple weeks ago. I picked out some of the smaller ones for the scale of this project. And then I bought these little bottles of seashells at Dollar Tree. I have 2 of them. Where's the other one? Oh, here it is. So we might use some of those. So I usually start with the prettiest seashell in the very center, or wherever I think the center is. And I'm going to leave a little space in between them so that I can, do I want to go up and down and up and down? So I have room for the smaller seashells. And we can just plunk a few of these on here in whatever direction we want. This is where it's really fun to get as creative as you want. And this project here has probably 1/3 of a skirt on it. And I could take the whole entire thing apart if I didn't like it, or if I wanted to reuse the embroidery hoop for a different project. I'm not locked into it forever. So it's a super affordable little project with a million glue strings. Whoops. And that is what that looks like. Isn't it cute? So let's add a few more seashells here. And then we'll go on to the next thing, which are some projects that I did last year, but I'm going to tell you all about them and how we did them. These look almost the same except they're white. So. If you, I'm doing this sort of in a symmetrical pattern, but if you are not a symmetrical kind of a girl or guy, you know, put them on, put your seashells on however you like it, whatever appeals to you. This is super cute. What do you guys think? Thank you, by the way, for all those stars. That is awesome. I so appreciate that. We could even put some seashells up here. And then to hang it, and I might have to fiddle around with moving the hoop just a little bit, but you can use this little thing that you tighten it with as your hanger. So let me show you that. And I'm just gonna do a little loop and pull my tail through it. And that's how I could hang it. And I could put some seashells up here. So what do you think? Is that cute or what? I think it turned out pretty darn adorable. Okay, so let's go on now for a few minutes and let me show you what we did last year here at DiyDreaming. I forgot completely about these projects until I opened my box and saw all the skirts, the hula skirts in it, and I was like, oh my goodness, we've got to get that out and do some of these this year. So this is one that I made, and it's just wrapped with a little bit of painter's drop cloth, and then it has some seashells glued on there and some little pearls and glass beads. I made a ton of these, oh my gosh. And they're all kind of different. This one has one of those glass pebbles on it and a navy blue ribbon holding it. They're all a little crunched because they've been in my basket of flowers since last summer. This one I did a much longer tail on it, and it was a thinner kind of a door hanger. This one I did the black and white bow, and it was smaller. Oh, this was a pretty one. This was really pretty. I'll have to dig out this video. I used a piece of painter's drop cloth, and we made one of our rolled rosettes, and then I did a row of seashells around it. Isn't that cute? And then here's another one with a seashell. Here's one with some blue and green and white beach glass. Here's another one that I made that has the rosette with the seashells around it. This was just I just fiddled around with these, experimented, and they're all crunched. They need to be steamed or something. Oh, this was kind of pretty. I glued some buttons on it. Okay, so how do you do that? This is the best one by far. That's why I started with that one. Okay, how do you make this? Well, you need something to hold your skirt in place. And I'm just gonna use a clipboard, all right? And let's grab our skirt. Where did I cut? Okay, so I cut right here. So I'm just gonna slip a bunch of these off. Kind of hang on to them so they don't get all messy. And you can use as many as you want. That'll just make it thicker. It's totally up to you. I think it could use a few more, so let me grab a few more. Okay, and then I'm going to try to have them all be roughly at the same distance at this end, and I'm going to stick it underneath the clip, my clipboard. And that will hopefully hold it kind of all in place. Okay, So you're gonna have something like this. And then if you know how to braid, which I'm assuming that all of you guys do, if you're crafty, you know how to braid. I'm just gonna move this into 3 similarly sized bunches. Feel and see. This one's bigger. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. So I've got my 3 bunches that we're going to be braiding with. And then you're literally just going to start. This is going to be part of the tail down here. So don't worry if it's messy at the start. Just get it going, and then you can pull all these pieces so that they're untangled. Usually when I do this, whoops, is that how that needs to go? What have I got going on here? There we go. I'll have this part of my clipboard on the floor and I'm holding it with my feet. So I have some tension here. So I can't really do that on this live, but you're gonna totally get the idea. So we're just gonna keep braiding. And you can pull this as tight or as loose, absolutely whatever appeals to you. I wish I had a big rock or something to hold this. It wants to slip closer to me. So we're just going to keep braiding. And this is not going to be as neat as it would normally be because I don't have the tension that my feet provide when they're holding this. Okay, and once you get to a certain amount, you are just basically going to stop. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to decide where you want your hoop to be. Can you guys see that? And I have a rubber band around here somewhere. Where did I put it? Well, we might, oh, and you can also make tassels with these. Oh my gosh, there's so many things that you can do. We're just going to use a piece of this twine. So then I would use a rubber band to get this going. I'm going to tie a knot here. And at this point, you can cover this part, and I could have kept braiding as long as I wanted. Okay, so I'm going to unbraid this end now. All right, and we're going to just cut the tail, however long or short we want. It's totally up to us. And there you go. That is basically what you have. And then you could put a ribbon around it, do some seashells, absolutely whatever you want. That's exactly how this one started, was just the same process. It does look neater, you can see, because I had the tension that I didn't have when I was working with my clipboard here on my craft desk. But, so those are, oh, and here's the tassel. You can use these to make this same stuff to make tassels. You can make bows with this stuff. If you have a Dollar Tree and you liked any of these projects, I would recommend that you go grab a couple of skirts sometime this week or early next week before they're all gone. If you have a choice between an adult size skirt and a child's, get the adult because you get more of this stuff, which I'm really not even sure exactly what it is. It looks very similar to raffia, but it's not raffia. And if you've looked at raffia lately, you've probably seen how ridiculously expensive raffia is these days. So this is like the affordable, totally affordable version of it. So anyways, I hope you liked these ideas. I am gonna hop off and put a link in the comment for this seashell. Every seashell tells a story stencil from Magnolia Design Company. It's the same one that I used for this. And I'll put a link for the inks in there too. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. This was a super fun project. It's a little difficult to show everything, but I hope you got some good ideas that you'll actually use. There goes all my little wood beads. And I appreciate you guys joining me. Let me know if I can help you with anything. If you have any questions, thank you so much for the stars. And I will get pictures of everything all finished up. I'll put them here in these comments and also just at DiyDreaming. So thanks for watching. See you guys later. You guys are so nice. All the nice things that you say. You're so welcome. I hope you liked this. Hey, if you decide to do any of these projects, I would love to see pictures of what you make. I know there's a bazillion different things that you could do. This idea here, and this one really, can also be done around a mirror. And that would be super fun for summer. I think this is my favorite one. But anyways, I'm gonna say goodbye now and I will see you guys later. Thanks for joining me.